Okay, so hello everybody. So this is actually the fourth time I'm recording this again, and because of some sound driver issue, so I'm back with another song for you guys, and we'll be analyzing and we'll be deconstructing how I made it. So this song is basically inspired from JRock. Yes, if you know JRock, Japanese rock. So Japanese rock is actually quite unique. It has its influences from the Western culture as well. There's elements of pop punk, alternative rock, so all those metal. So you may have heard of bands like Yasaobi. You may have heard of bands like One OK Rock. So all those. So Japanese rock or J-rock. And since I kind of love rock as well, pop punk, pop rock. So all those. I don't know if pop rock is even a genre. I think it should be rock by itself. So J-rock. So this is how I made my song. Don't bother about the name. Don't bother with the name, okay? Since I usually name my songs, I usually give them the name of whatever comes into mind. No real direct purpose. So rock songs usually need guitars, drum kits, bass guitars. If you want piano, okay, you're gonna do a lot of leads, riffs, so all those. So here I started off. Let's just start off with this melody, simple melody. Okay, so I do play guitar, but I'm not as good yet. I'm still, I would say, close to intermediate. I'm not even intermediate. I don't have an electric guitar, so I'm using this plugin, this library, this guitar library called Instrument from Native Instrument. Native Instruments. It's called Session Guitarists Electric Mint. So it's a paid plugin. It's not free. I think I got it for around $50 last time. It was on offer. So I use this plugin a lot. I use this instrument a lot. Okay, so let's just go over the instruments we will be needing first, or our VSTs. I'm using this FPC. It's in FL Studio. It's a native plugin inside FL Studio itself, so you get it along with FL when you buy FL. And I like this because you can just drag and drop your sound samples. So your kicks, your snares, if you don't like the presets, you can just delete them, you can remove them, you can just put your own sample packs, you can use your own sounds. So kicks, and thing is that you can assign your own mixer tracks from inside this plugin itself. So it's a drum bus, okay? Kind of like a... Okay, so kicks, layered, okay, layered. Okay, snares layered as well. I'm not using any of the toms actually. Closed hat, open hat, pedal hi-hat, tambourine, crash, light crash, light right bell. You might notice that I have the crash, the right, I think. I've panned them towards the right and towards the left. When you're making songs, basically the principle is that you don't want to put all the instruments towards the middle. So if you have come across stereo image before, the concept of stereo image, stereo positioning. So if you take a typical room where people perform, you're going to have the vocalists in the front, in the middle of the bunch. Then you have the drummers in the back, somewhere in the middle, I think. And then you're going to have the guitarists maybe towards the right, maybe towards the left. So depending on where they are. And same thing with the drum kits. So drums, if you have seen the assemblage of a drum kit, you're going to have drums, you're going to have your kicks in the middle, you're going to have your crashes towards the left or right, then you're going to have your snares somewhere towards your left or right again, not too far, okay? You're going to have your other percussions left or right, depending on that. So that's the principle. So you can use any panning tool, or you can use these direct panning functions from the mixer tracks of FL Studio. So next, I'm using a guitar again. So session guitarist. I think I'm using it for this. Yes. Okay, so kind of a muted guitar. Okay, so let's just check that out. Yes. Okay, so instruments, guitar again, a lot of guitar. Then I'm using a bass guitar from Native Instruments again. Okay, let's just check that out. It's going to be a bit laggy because, okay, I'm using an old PC. It's a 4th gen Intel i7 PC. So, bass guitar. So, I got this bass guitar from Native Instruments again, and it's not free. But I think it kind of is free for now because I'm using the trial version. For the complete now subscription bundle, you get some instruments, some drum packs, some pianos, some other things like synths and all that. So you get this bass guitar along with it, and some other guitar like Electric Burst. So you kind of have to pay for it after 30 days of usage. So first 30 days it's free. I'm just gonna leave a link if you want. I'm just gonna leave the links to the free stuff in the description below. Okay, if you want to check them out, so you don't have to look for them yourselves. Okay, next guitar again, Electric Mint. Oops. Is it? Nope. Let me just play the whole thing. Where is it? Lead git short. So that must be the lead guitar. Okay. This is also a preset from the Electric Mint. It's called 70s Aircraft. So it has a lot of functions. Vibrato, bend, chord mode, all that. So voicing. So you have the melody mode as well. So open mode, muted mode, flageolet. Then you have tremolo. So all of that stuff. So you can just mess around if you buy this stuff. I don't recommend doing crack, okay? And I don't recommend buying stuff if you're just starting out. And if you want some free guitars, some good free electric guitars, you can just go experiment those. There's the, if I'm not mistaken, what is that called? Let me just load contact. Okay. Yes. We have this bass guitar called Shred H3 Precision Free. So this is a free bass guitar from Impact Soundworks, if I'm correct. Then we have the electric guitar, normal electric guitar from Impact Soundworks again. So Shred H3 Stratus Free. So these are the two free instruments you can get. I'm just going to leave a link for those, okay? So I'm going to leave links for those. My grammar is so bad. And I'm not Native American, so there you go. Okay. So again, guitar. Then we have our piano. So I'm using piano for some nice background chords. I'm using Soul's Piano. It's a free piano from sample-based piano, sampled instrument from Piano Book. Yes, you can get this for free from Piano Book. I'm gonna leave a link to that as well. So check it out if you're free. It has a really nice sound to it. Okay, especially if you make maybe piano songs. I do make piano songs as well. I like Ghibli music and I like music from Genshin Impact, so I do tend to experiment with orchestral music and just piano tracks. So there you go. Again, guitar, Electric Mint. I'm using the, I don't know what this is. Okay, so Haven, it's called muted guitar. Okay, so this is kind of the ambient guitar, crispy arpeggios, another preset from Electric Mint. So another piece here. What is this? Neo Funk. I think that's a Strat guitar. Then this is just for your example. I'm just gonna delete that. Now, let's go over the melody. How do we start writing? Simple melody, choose some notes, choose some keys. So I went with B. So B major. I'm using a MIDI keyboard, so you can just use this. This is basically your root note, and then this is basically your fifth. B minor, B major. So I left out the third note. Okay, so I went with a B to a C sharp, then to a D sharp, then to a C sharp, B. If you know a little bit of theory, you can use all those fancy schmancy. What are those called? Roman numerals. I don't know much about theory, so I'm still learning, but I'm quite the amateur at it. I go mostly by feeling. So, guitar. Stack of chords again. Start with an F. I start with an F. So F over here. I have a, looks like a C. Is it a C? C sharp. We have a, I'm not sure what that is. We have a, looks like an F over G. I'm not sure about that. So, stack of chords. Then we got our drum patterns. Wait, let me just do guitar, muted guitar. Stack of. So if you're wondering about this thing, what is this? So this is basically a reverse sample of the pattern, the first pattern, this thing. So what you can do is you click on this, click on patterns over here. So pattern 1, right? So clicked, patterns, pattern 1. You can render as audio clip or quick render as audio clip. Then you take this, paste it here, take it here, and then you're gonna use the reverse function. So that's how I did it basically. Let's go to the drum patterns. Intro. Oops. That's a really nice kick. So if you want to play this whole thing together, let's just go with the piano first. Chord progression. So how do you make this chord progression? You follow these notes at the bottom. Okay, so follow the bass notes if you want to mix and match. So B, C sharp, D sharp, C sharp, and a B again. So go over here. B, C sharp, D sharp, C sharp, B. So you can use simple chords, but if you want to level up your sounds, level up your music, you do not want to stick with simple chords. Simple chords, I mean triads. So basically if I use a triad, like here I'm using the note B, so I'm just going to go with a B major. That is your normal B major. So here I'm using the B5. Okay, then I'm stacking on top with an F sharp. There you go. Sounds a lot more interesting. So how did I do that? How do I know which chord do I put on top? So if you take a look at this B, it has a shared note. Okay, so if you take a look at the chords which match with your B chord, it has an F sharp, it has an F sharp, and I think you can even use the C sharp in here. Okay, so these notes are part of the B major scale. Okay, so if you can use that, you can just stack chords on top which share notes, 2 notes. Okay, so makes it sound a little bit more interesting. Depends on the overall sound, of course, so you can just experiment. So let's go, chord progression. I don't know how to call this chord. This looks like a C sharp, C sus2. Okay, how do I know? Actually, that does not look like a C sus2. Normally, it would be C. Okay, so we have a second note and we have a fourth note over here. So we have both sus4 and sus2. I don't know how would you call that. I don't know how do you call that. So next chord. Jeez, Louise. So moving on, we have looks like a D minor, right? Yes. Back to a C. This looks like a C sus4. So what are these C sus4, C sus2? Basically, you have a normal. Let's take an example of a C chord. This is your normal C chord, C major. 1, 3, 5. So basically the root note, third note, and the fifth. Okay, so if you take this third note to the next note, the fourth, it is called as a C sus4, suspended fourth chord. And then if you take this third note into the second note, back to the second note, this is called a C sus2. Okay, so next, C sus4. Looks like an F sharp over B. Or maybe it's a modified version of B. To me, it looks like an F sharp over B though. So there you go. Repeat, rinse, repeat. Add some variations. Guitar patterns again. Okay, so how am I doing this effect? Basically, I'm using this plugin called Pancake in the effects track. So left to right. It's called Pancake 2, and I'll just leave a link to the plugin. Okay, so you guys don't have to look for it yourselves. It's free. It's from the people called the Cable Guys. So check that out if you want. If you want, you can just use my link from the description. Okay, so next, guitar again. I think I've already explained about this. Wait. Okay, so this is just to add some kind of contrast. Bass. Okay, so bass guitar. Normally it would sound like this. There you go. Mono sounds kind of mono, right? At the center. So if I use this chorus, it's gonna sound like this. Sounds pretty interesting and a lot better. So kind of wider. A lot of music producers, a lot of people would tell you to keep your bass, sub bass in mono, but if you experiment with the higher, frequencies of the bass region, add some chorus, add some maybe stereo widening, all of that. Sometimes you can achieve very interesting sounds. So I'm using chorus. I'm using this plugin called Hyper Chorus. You get with FL Studio 21. And I'm using this compressor from Universal Audio. It's called LA2A. Most of the plugins that I use here are completely free. Okay, so the only plugin that I've paid for is the Electric Mint, actually. A lot of the other I've just either received from giveaways, and I got one reverb plugin from a server member from Discord. He gifted me that. So there we go. Let's continue. So here we go again. Piano. Okay, so basically this is the same thing as this. Let's just put it down. Same thing, I'm using the panning effect with the Pancake 2. Okay, so let's move on. If you're writing melodies, if you're writing the bass line, you can. Well, you can't put the same pattern over and over, but that's just gonna get boring. So to spice it up, you're just gonna chop it up, or you're just gonna arrange some kind of different patterns, but using the same notes, like I've done here. I mean, this sounds kind of boring, right? The first one. That would be very boring. So, okay, next we have our lead guitar towards the main body, main section of the song. So I'm using a parametric EQ for some basic EQ. I'm using the compressor LA2A for some character. And I'm using a send channel for some effects. So I'm EQing the signal before it reaches the reverb. I'm using Valhalla Supermassive. You can get this plugin from Valhalla DSP. It's free. And I'm using this limiter so we can sidechain the reverb. So a little bit of the complex stuff. How do you sidechain this thing? Use this as a send. Basically, click this and click on this next channel. Route to this track. Okay. So use this EQ your signal before it reaches the reverb. Sorry. So you're using this plugin called Fruity Limiter. It's in FL Studio itself. So you're gonna have to use the compressor, okay, function. Okay, so I'm using this sidechain. Click on this sidechain. You're gonna have, if you've linked your original mixer track, you're gonna have this option. So here, lead get short. So I'm using that as my trigger. So this compressor will be compressing the signal from the main mixer track. Okay, so it'll be ducking the reverb, actually. It'll be ducking the reverb and using the main signal from the main mixer track as the trigger. You can use the various functions of the threshold, knee ratio according to your whatever sounds good. Okay, whatever's needed. Okay, next. Same thing. Okay, same thing. We have a Strat guitar over here. I'm using the Electric Mint again, so muted guitar, a little bit of Strat, sound goodizer for some character, some basic EQ, and I have nothing over here on the send, so I'm just gonna remove that. Okay, that's too much. Okay, so along with the bass. Alright, then we have our main lead guitar. Okay, that is done, I think. And we have our strum, ambient guitar. So how do you get that nice, spacious sound? You use a Send FX and you use 2 reverbs. So I'm using Valhalla Supermassive again. Okay, and I'm using stereo enhancer for some panning. And then for some width enhancement, sorry. I'm using OTT for some character, some basic EQ. Send this mixer track into your other FX and then use another reverb. So if you take a look at these two, I have a delay of 188 ms and I have a delay of, on the main track, 50 ms. So I'm using 2. Take a listen at the difference if I use only 1, if I use only the send track. There you go. Now I'm using both. Interesting, right? So reverb within the reverb, so you can use this method. So basically you use a reverb, some kind of a hall reverb or room reverb with a huge, with a larger room size, with a longer delay, longer decay, and you use a smaller reverb, smaller room or smaller chamber, something like that. Lower depth with a very short delay or decay. So it's going to make your sound more spacious. Sounds more spacious. Okay. So next. Okay, I think that's about it, right? Do we have anything else? It's just repetitions now. Let me just play this because it sounds good. Like this. Okay, let's just try to listen to the whole song now. So that's about it. As for structuring of the song, I'm really bad with that, so I'm still learning. I'm not a good producer yet, but I'm not quitting. I ain't quitting yet. So we have, I think, the intro, then we have the bridge maybe, and then we have our main thing over here. So while making a song, while writing, while doing your composition, you need to keep in mind about the dynamics of the song. So some parts recommend that some parts should be quieter. There should be some kind of transitions, some quiet parts, some loud parts. It can't just be silent or quiet for the majority of the song and loud for the majority of the song. So some parts need to be quiet and some parts need to be loud, but not too much. All right, so adjust so that it sounds good. Use your feelings. And this is where referencing comes into play as well. So you can use referencing. What do we mean by referencing? Well, we can just listen to our favorite songs. You can use those, analyze those, study those, analyze the dynamics of the song, So let's just take a listen to this song now. that should have been the ending, so I shouldn't be placing this over here. Let's just leave that. Actually, I like playing it this way. Just the drums, bass. Sounds kind of cool, right? Alright, so that's about it, I think. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment, and if you would like me to make more of these types of videos, I do actually plan to make more of these types of videos. I have too many songs, unfinished songs, so I'm just gonna try and finish them and try to upload those. I'm going to be doing the breakdown on all those. So welcome back. Thank you for staying until the end. If you have been staying with me, if you have been with me. So if you like this video, if you like these kinds of videos, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with people. It'll help me, and that is the best way. Free, and it's free, so you just need to click. And I won't bore you with another second, so another minute. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.